Hey guys, some of you already know me. My name is Mingos from the BLAND Discord. I'm also a Microsoft Certified AI Engineer Associate. And today we're going to be making a outbound sales agent. And the goal of this is basically use an outbound sales agent to be able to convert and bring in sales for your business. We're going to go over a few parts. We're going to go over the greeting. We're going to go over the approach to getting the decision maker in the business. We're going to go over objection handling, human transfer, calendar booking, which is going to be the biggest component, and the post-call processing. Now, to sort of set the scene, when you make an outbound sales call, you sort of need to know the demographic you're going to be calling. In this case, what we're going to be doing is I am sending out outbound sales calls to people in the trades industry. So we're thinking, plumbers, electricians, drainers, so on and so forth. So let's get started. Let's start with the global prompt. The global prompt is a prompt that is added to basically every node you have in your conversational pathway. This particular prompt is important. If you don't know the reason why I prompt the way I do, I've also done a video on prompting that I recommend you to watch. You can find that in the description. I'm not going to go over that here, so I'm just going to get started. You are Vanessa, an enthusiastic, demanding. Now, I'm going to pause here a little bit. I like to use the word demanding in my global prompt, especially for an outbound sales agent, simply because when you're doing outbound sales, you're not being friendly. You are being demanding, you are being authoritative, obviously, but not rude. And I find the word demanding anecdotally quite useful for when I'm making an outbound sales agent. And professional AI phone agent, that is the face of an AI agency called BLAND.AI. You are making a cold call to a potential client in the trades industry, and your goal is to speak to the key decision maker, in this case, most likely a manager or owner, to discuss the possibility of employing AI in their customer service or B2B sales. So you can see this is just context I'm giving to all of my nodes so that whenever I test my pathway at any given node, the AI still has context of what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to save that here. Now in the start node, it's sort of fairly straightforward. A lot of people sort of need to understand when you're creating an AI agent, you have to role play a little bit with regards to what you're trying to do. So in this particular example, I'm making an outbound sales call. Someone picks up the phone and they go, hey, this is Joshua speaking. And the AI, if AI receives their name, the AI will go, hey Joshua, my name is, whoever from XYZ. I'm here calling about whatever, right? And additionally, for an outbound sales call, you might also have their name, right? If you have a list to call from, a CSV list or whatever. So I will sort of want to cater for both things here, and you can sort of see that in my greeting node. So that's my start node. So I'll say, greet the user and introduce yourself as a representative from BLAND.AI by their name if they told you their name. So this way, if they pick up and you have on your list it's John, but says, hey, it's Joanna speaking, the AI would actually address their name by Joanna. So it's a bit more personable. Then ask to speak to their manager. If you are being transferred, just say thanks and wait patiently. Now again, let's say you have a call list and your call list says you're going to be talking to John, but John might have a receptionist. And the receptionist is called Joanna, and we need to get to John because that's the person making the decision. So 80 to 90% of the time when I make an outbound sales agent, I won't be speaking to the key decision maker straight away. I'll be talking to either an accountant, a secretary, an assistant, or whoever. So we need to be able to cater for that. So in this particular case, if Joanna picks up, we want to greet Joanna, and then we ask for John, right? So let's save that, and obviously we can just have a quick test to see what that looks like. So, hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm calling from BLAND.AI. Could I please speak to the manager or the owner of the company? Wonderful, right? And you could say, the person could say, sure, let me go get that person, or they will go, yes, that is me, or no, or why are you calling, for example, right? Which brings into my next node. So my next node is obviously, let's assume that we do end up talking to the key decision maker. So let's add a new node. Let's go to the default node. Let's just call this key decision maker. I have got a bit of a a bit of a prompt here because it's too much to type. So I'm just going to copy paste that over. So this is my prompt for this section. So introduce yourself as Vanessa, an AI phone agent. If the user is impressed, play along and build some rapport. Obviously, with sales, building rapport is important. So in this particular case, we can imagine, hey, I'm Vanessa. I'm actually an AI agent. How cool is that? And obviously, you get some reactions from it. We typically in our experience, people do not expect to get an AI phone agent to call them. Then tell the user you are messaging today to see if we can help streamline their customer. Oh God, if we can streamline their customer service and try to set a meeting with the user. If the user responds to any of the messages, respond appropriately before continuing the conversation. So, it's like, oh, I don't have the time right now. The AI agent will be like, oh, I understand, before doing an objection handling. So this is that part of the sales pitch. Obviously, I am not a good salesperson. This has just been something that we've worked on and we've iterated with time. People who are watching this who are sales, I'm sure you can come up with much better prompts than I in terms of handling a better sales pitch. Now, see example messages below to not omit details. Now, a reason we put this in our AI prompt is that AI actually can't come up with really good sales messages. So, and also general messages, because we want to be very friendly, very casual with sales. So I've decided to put in a couple messages. So nice to meet you. How are you? That's great to hear. Just so you know, I'm an AI that can answer any questions you have about service. Pretty cool, right? The reason I'm calling is to scope out any customer support issues you might have and see if we can help. We're a Microsoft Solutions partner that specializes in AI solutions for after-hours customer service, B2B data collection, or anything you can think of really. Now here's sort of the big sales pitch. Now, in this particular instance, I am tackling a 24/7 trades business. A 24/7 trades business has a pain point where they operate 24/7. They have a pretty high cost in terms of their after-hours support. I want to reduce that cost, and hence why I'm calling them, and this is my demographic. So it's important, if you're doing a outbound sales call, to have a flow, a sales pitch, a flow to sort of convince the customer. If you don't have a good sales flow, basically it's sort of pointless making an AI phone agent. Now, before calling, I noticed on your website that you operate 24/7. Several trades businesses like yours are already using AI to handle the customer service to get more leads and cheaper supplies. If you're keen to learn more, I can get you in touch with our member, or I can send you an email with more details. Right? So this is obviously my sales pitch. It works pretty decently for us. I'm sure you guys are much better than the people who work behind the tech, who are actually in sales. All right, so let's just save that. Now, what I have here, we want to connect it, and basically, here is the user is the key decision maker, and we just simply want to save that. So when we call a person and we manage to get the key decision maker, then we basically navigate to this next node. And obviously we want to add a loop condition so that we are stuck in the first loop and trying to get the key decision maker until we actually get there. So in this particular case, the last action that will happen before speaking to key decision maker is I am the key decision maker, or I'll transfer you to the key decision maker. So what you will put here is you are either speaking to the key decision maker, or you are being transferred to the key decision maker. And one thing to note here is I've used the word key decision maker, but usually you have to define what a key decision maker is, and I have defined that in my global prompt. So your goal is to speak to the key decision maker, in this case, the manager or owner, to discuss the possibility of employing AI. Now, I'm going to do a quick test just to show you guys. So for example, let's pretend I am the key decision maker. Yes, I am the manager. And then you'll say, nice to meet you, how are you, right? Now, the cool thing is, based on the way I've prompted, is if I tell them, my name, so yes, I am the manager, Tom. And then she will go and tell them, or she will go and say, nice to meet you, Tom, how are you doing today? So that's one cool thing that we would like to be more flexible, adaptable with using AI. Now, moving on, let's do the objection handling part of the sales outbound call. So this is probably where you're going to spend most of your time in this outbound sales agent AI. So I would create a knowledge base, make it a global node, and I will call this objection handling. Again, I'm just going to copy and paste what I have in my objection handling, and then we can have a discussion over that. So this is my prompt. So in my objection handling node, I got objective. Your goal is to convince the key decision maker that you have something valuable that's worth their time and eventually set up an appointment. Here are some common objections and how to handle them. So again, it's very clear what the objective is. I want to convince the key decision maker that I have something good they want. And I want to tell the AI, if they say any of these things, this is how you handle them. And this is what they mean. So objection examples, I don't have the time to talk. I'll give an example of what that means. Let's talk in a month, what that means. Send an email, what that means. Now, an objection handling example is basically where you put a couple of examples to handle some of these objections. So I will say, I understand this may not be a top priority right now, or perhaps you don't see the value. Several people have said the same, but once we had a brief discussion, they were thrilled to learn more. Give me 2 minutes of your time, and I promise you'll be clear on whether or not this is a good use of your time. This is obviously my objection handling sales pitch. You can add more here. You can refine it. Obviously, this is what it is. Now, in terms of the knowledge base, I will put in here some information about your services. So, for example, BLAND.AI offers AI services such as B2B, cold calling, whatever you want to put in here, that's fine. Now, global node, this is where when we want to give reasons the AI to option select into the objection handling. So typically I will have something like the user does not want to make an appointment, or says they have no time. Now, obviously, you have to think this through. What is the number one thing a salesperson would experience over the phone? When you make a phone call, you say, "Oh, I'm busy right now. I can't call you. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm busy. I don't have the time." So typically, our goal here is to handle. I don't want to make an appointment. I don't have the time. These are the examples that will path to this particular node. So, for example, let's just save this. And let's say we get to the key decision maker. I am the manager. I am good, right? And it says I'm an AI that can answer any questions you have about our services. Pretty cool, right? You can go, sorry, I am not interested. And obviously now she enters objection handling mode. I understand you might not be interested, but I'd like to ask, are you currently using any AI solutions to customer service or B2B sales? It's getting aggressive. Sorry, I don't have the time. See, I completely understand that you're busy, but I'd like to ask, when will be a good time for a quick 3-minute call to discuss how Bafi can help you improve your customer service or B2B sales? Will tomorrow, next week work better for you? So this is where salespeople will shine. This is in the all handled in the objection handling node. Go wild, right? Now the next part is we were able to then convince the customer to make a booking with us. Or they are just so not interested, they don't want to have a booking with us, or they've just hung up on us. So typically what I'll do is I'll make 2 nodes to allow the AI to option select. So we have a success node and a failure node. So in this particular case, we have the user wants to make an appointment. And save please. And over here, we have the user does not want to make an appointment. And the key decision maker here, we also want to put a loop condition. So we want to be in this node for as long as we deem necessary. And the only time we want to path to the next node is you have asked the user, what did I write here? Tell them your message conversation. Okay, also missed a little bit here. Your goal is to try to set an appointment with the user. You have asked the user if they are interested in an appointment. And then the user would then respond whether they are interested or not interested in making an appointment. So a success, what that will look like is something like ask the user to suggest a day and time for an appointment to discuss their specific needs or pain points, then confirm the selected date and time by repeating it back to the user. And the loop condition here will be you must have gotten the date and time, and have repeated and have gotten confirmation from the user, right? And a failure will just be, say farewell to the user. So obviously at this point, the user says, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested, etc., etc. So this technically will be an end node, and our sales journey ends here. Another thing I might need to add is a loop condition, where we will go, actually we'll do that later. So let's park this here for now. So let me save that. So just a quick recap on what we've done so far. We've created a introduction node to introduce ourselves, and then we try to navigate to the key decision maker, right? And then based on what the key decision maker has said, we do our best to objection handle. And then we're now to the next part, whether they want to speak to a human, calendar booking, and post-call processing, right? Let me just... All right, now we move on to the most technical part of the appointment setting. So what we have to do is basically going to be 3 components inside the calendar booking. So let me just put that here. So calendar booking has 3 components. So the first component is give the AI the current time. The second component is fetch calendar availability. And the third step is book the appointment. But book the appointment is in the post-call processing, so I'll just put that here. So it's going to be a little bit convoluted. I do apologize in advance if this is going to be a bit messy, but this is probably the most difficult part from a pathway perspective. So let's get into it. First thing we need to do is give the AI the current time. There are 2 ways to go about doing this. Let me move my face out of the way. So BLAND actually has a now UTC variable, but unfortunately through our testing, that is not enough. What I mean by that is if you tell BLAND the current time is now, you will have a sense of what now is, but you will not have a sense of what tomorrow is for some reason. So you actually have to tell the AI what date tomorrow actually is. And sometimes even then that fails. So I would also have to give day after tomorrow to the AI. With all of those 3 pieces of information, the AI would have a concept of today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. And for whatever reason, he also, after these 3 variables, he also gains the ability to understand what next week is. I don't know the reason, and I'm not sure why that works, but through our testing, that just seems to work. So let's get started on that. Now, in order for us to do this, I use a program called Make. You can use whatever you want. You can, if you're a competent programmer, you can make your own Node.js server and ping that. You can use Zapier or Make. I am lazy. I like to use Make, and so this is what I would use. But the method and approach is the same. So in Make, we create a new scenario. So in this particular case, I am just going to set some variables. So set multiple variables. I'm going to have today. I'm going to add tomorrow. And I'm just going to have day after tomorrow. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. So for today, we click the calendar button here and just select now. For tomorrow, we just go add days. So, and then we insert our now, and then we add 1 day. So that's going to be tomorrow. Day after tomorrow is now. Is add days, now, and add 2. And we'll press OK. When we run this, you can see today is 28th of August 2024. Tomorrow is 29, and day after tomorrow is 30th. Wonderful, right? Now we have to pass this information back to BLAND. So we need to have it in a format that BLAND can use. So we're going to have to use the JSON because that's going to be our payload, and we aggregate the values into JSON. So we're going to add a new data structure, which is going to add a few items. So we're going to add today, add tomorrow, and then add day after tomorrow. Save that. This is going to be a data structure, and the values today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, right. Let's do a quick run. You can see that this is going to be a JSON string in the format. Cool, right? Now let's create a webhook that triggers when we receive data. So BLAND would trigger this webhook, and then the response is the dates. So let's connect that. We make a webhook. Let's just call this date, BLAND date finder. I don't know. Save. Okay for now. And then the output is a response. And the response is just simply the JSON string, right? We run once, and then we'll go back to BLAND. Now here is our first webhook. So now there is a few ways to go about doing this. I obviously, I have a preference, but it changes depending on context. So how BLAND works is you need to give BLAND the information of the dates at some point without sort of interrupting the flow of the conversation. Typically, I do that near the start, right after the introduction. But some people do it right before they want to make that booking, which is also fine. So that is completely up to you where you want to fetch this data. I fetch this data pretty early on, just because it's a preference and something I'm familiar with. So let's just go with that. So I'm going to create a new webhook. This is called date checker. Right, I'm going to send an API, just a GET request. Oh, let me just copy the address. Right, that's my address. Just a simple GET request, and then I'm going to run once, and then I'm going to press the test API, and it will tell me the response. I'm just going to add all of these today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. I'm going to delete that. And I don't know if the description is needed, but just a general rule of thumb, I guess. We can add some of that. This is today's date, tomorrow's date, day after tomorrow's date. If you guys have a better way to write these descriptions, because day after tomorrow's date just sounds weird to me, let me know in the comments. All right, so let's, then we have the path after response, and upon completion, we go to the key decision maker. So we save that. So now it's going to look a little messy for now. Let's just rearrange this a little bit. So we delete the user as the key decision maker, put this here, and then connect that. So the user is the key decision maker. Now what will happen is when we run the pathway, it's going to ping our webhooks, and it's going to give us today's date. So that's sort of the first part of it done, give the AI current time. Now let's test this. I'm just going to move my face out of the way. So if we're to test this, I'm just going to say, no, let me go get him, right? Obviously that failed miserably. Let's see. It is because I need to skip. This needs to be static text, and I need to skip this node. So I don't want the user to interact with this node, so I'm just skipping this node so that it happens in the background. So let's see if that works. Let me go get him. Better. So let's see what node we are on. So we are currently on the key decision maker. So that means it's pathing to the key decision maker. Before, you're either speaking to the key decision maker, or you are speaking to the key decision maker. Let's try that. So what is happening right now is instead of saying, sure, I'll wait here while you get him, it's saying, hi, I'm Vanessa from BLAND.AI, because it assumes that we're talking to the key decision maker. So I don't want it to jump over just yet. Let me go get him. Wonderful. Now it works. Thank you. I'll wait patiently. Now, well, we say, hi, this is Tom. I am the manager. Then you'll proceed as usual. And if we scroll up a little bit here, we should be able to get the webhook response, I hope. And we do not. So let's have a look at why that is the case. JSON string. It's because I forgot to put my scheduling on. So rookie mistake. Let's move back. Now we should be able to see our results if we test pathway. So I am the manager. Now, if we were to see today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, so those dates are correctly being passed. Now, typically what I like to do here is to save my headache, to save my time from going back all the way to the start and going through the whole typing again. I like to put the variables straight into the test pathways as key values. So today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. So, and I'm just going to copy and paste those there. So what this will do is when you run the test pathway again, it's going to load these without going through the webhook. It just saves me a couple of minutes, and that sort of adds up through my testing. All right, now what we've got to do next is probably going to be the hardest part of the calendar booking aspect. So we are going to have to fetch the calendar availability, check it in our Google Calendar, manage our time zones effectively, and then change it back. Now, I want to make a quick note about time zones because this is where a lot of people stuff up. It's actually a lot easier than you think. All you have to do is inside your make for your webhooks, in your set variables, you just have to change your time zone inside. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You just have to modify your now variable based on your time zone. So for example, if you're a GMT plus 10, you would add 10 hours and then add the 1 day. And then you will be at, your response will be at GMT 10. And then when you go back and make that booking, you're going to set the calendar in that respective time zone. So right now I'm using UTC as my time zone. So all of my time is going to be set in UTC, and that just works fine. However, later on, you'll notice that when I input into my calendar automatically converts it to the Australian time. It will stuff up. But all you have to do is change your Australian calendar, well, my Australian calendar to UTC, and that will realign itself time-wise. All right, let's move on to fetching the calendar availability. So first things first, we need to be able to get the time that the user wants to make the booking. So what we want to do here is extract call into variables, and here is going to be what I'll call appointment time. Now here is going to be a bit of my secret sauce. This is what I find works the best. I would like to say feel free to steal it, but I would also like to say that this took a lot of time. So I will appreciate you guys if you can like this pathway on the BLAND Pathways website when I publish this and share it on the BLAND Pathway. You can clone this later. But this took quite a while to put together. So this is going to be the appointment time. The appointment time the user has specified in the day format of year, month, date, time, hour, minute, second, Z. Today is today, tomorrow, and the day. Tomorrow is tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow is day after tomorrow. For dates beyond these, speak the date without mentioning the year. I actually don't need this. This is from my other prompt. For days beyond these, speak the date without mentioning the year. Ensure the date is, and then I'll put this back here. Ensure the call is booked on or after tomorrow. And I'll also need to copy and paste this, just so the prompt and the extraction, the call extraction, is aware of the date. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to make another node so that I can have a look at what happens after. Just going to connect it, and then we will be able to check the dates. So I'm going to start on the success node, and keeping in mind it's the 28th. I'm going to make a booking for, let's say, next Wednesday. Let's go with next Friday. Doesn't really matter. So we're going to start with the success node. We have got the today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow ready. So let's run the test. So you will ask me, could you please repeat or respond to my initial greeting? Anyway, I'm Vanessa, and when would you be a good time for us to schedule? So how about next Friday at 2 p.m.? And then it's going to do a little pause because it's trying to extract the phone call. And now what we can do is we can see that the extracted phone call is the 6th of September at 2 p.m. The 6th of September is the correct date, and it's at 2 p.m., which is correct. Wonderful. So it's able to extract that data correctly. Now, what we want to do is we want to basically go and check whether this slot is available in our make, right? So first things first, let's modify this. This is this needs to be a webhook because that's what we're doing straight after. Webhook. So this is going to be appointment checker, and I'm just going to say, I can't even save it because it needs a. Let me just make a few other ones. So this is appointment available, and then let's make another one, call it appointment unavailable, right? So let's just say we path to appointment available first and save that. And then we path this and say the user has given us a date and time for their appointment. Save that. And then say, please wait while I check the calendar. Oh, sorry. Static text. Please wait while I check our calendar. And we save. Now, it's going to be the most difficult part. We're going to have to jump back into make. So we're going to do two things. We are going to do a calendar check within make. I hope I can do this in one take, most likely not, but let's see how I go. We're going to create a new scenario, and then let's get that started. So let's think. The first thing is we want to be able to pass the webhook. So triggers when we receive data, and we want to make a new gateway called appointment time. Save that. We copy that, and then we edit the webhook. It's going to be the right address. Post. The body is simply just going to be appointment time. Oh, I forgot my. And appointment time in the squiggly brackets. I am going to save it for now. I'm going to run. Oh, it's not set up. Okay. Does it matter if it isn't set up? Yeah, cool. Now I'm going to test it again from the success node. How about Friday next week at 3 p.m.? So it's going to process that. And then it should come up. I hope. So the date is extracted correctly. It's a webhook. Is this correct? Well, hold on, I think I got the wrong webhook. Triggers when webhook received data, not mailhook. My bad. Come on. Oh, it's glitching on me. Webhook, not mailhook. And then we add a webhook. Let's call this appointment time. Okay, save. Wonderful. Now that looks a lot better. We save this. We test the pathway again. How about Friday next week at 3 p.m.? Cool. Now we have the payload in our webhook. And then we create a Google Calendar, which is the calendar that I'm currently using. You can use whatever you like. Some people use Cal, some people use Dynamic 365, whatever you like. The method is more or less the same. Now in here, I'm going to have to add my calendar. So sign in with Google. I've now signed in. Calendar, I'll select my calendar here. Now the start date is the appointment time we just got. And then the end date is going to be the appointment time plus 1 hour. So again, we use the add hours. So this is going to be appointment time. And then add hour, 1 hour, and we can just save that. So now after, we need to have a look at what the outcome of the calendar is, right? So I'm going to turn this on and also run this to see what it looks like. How about next Friday at 3 p.m.? Cool. Right, so we can see that this is our appointment time, next Friday at 3 p.m. Right, 6th, 3 p.m. Wonderful. And it checks that there is a total number of bundles, 0. So what this means is that there is an availability at this slot. Later on, I will create a slot so that it's not available, and we can see the differences. So now let's add a router. Oh, not a break. So let's add a router, and we make 2 routes. So the first one is slot available. Right, the condition is the total number of bundles is equal to 0. So that means there is nothing booked there, right? And then slot is unavailable. Oh, slot unavailable is when the condition, total number of bundles, does not equal to 0. Not equals to 0. So this first particular case is when it's available, and this slot is when it's unavailable. Now let's create a case where it is available. So we create a webhook. We create a webhook response. The body is basically just going to be slot availability. We set that to true. And then we, in our webhook, we want to extract a response, right? So if we response data, we put, let's see if this works if I just use test API request. Oh no, because so I think some of you guys will be like, why aren't you using the test API request here? It's because I haven't hard coded the appointment time. So that's why I'm using the appointment time through the extraction to test it. Yes, I can do it a bit quicker here, but I don't like hard coding it in the body. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm going to manually code the response data. Response data will be slot. Actually, I don't know my JSON paths. So let's hard code that and put it back in. Let's put this here. Let's replace this. Let's run once, test. Obviously that worked, but the response token did not. So this is where, so BLAND test API request still has some issues. So I think I will just have to manually extract it. All right, so let's see if I can get it right on the first time. So this is slot availability. The JSON path is, I believe, let me think about this. I'll open up my trusty notepad. Should be $.slot availability, whether the time slot is available. And then we save that. And then if the time slot is available, so slot availability is equal to true, then time appointment's available. So let's do that. And if it's not true, it's not available. Righto. Let's just move this around a bit. Now, so this will be tell the user their booking has been confirmed. And that someone will reach out to them to, this is fine. Okay, cool. So we've got the booking available sorted. So let's check the variable outcome. So let's test that again. Is it running? Yep. How about next Friday at 3 p.m.? Cool. You can see 3 p.m. and then the slot availability is should be true unless the collected webhook response is blank. So I must have done something wrong here. Oh, okay. I forgot to save. That should work now. So let's go back. If we're to test the pathway again, how about next Friday at 2 p.m., let's say. Cool, so the appointment result is true. Wonderful. Now let's change the webhook back into our appointment time. Just for my sanity, I'm just going to double check that as well. How about Friday next week at 3 p.m.? Cool, so that's it. That slot is available. Wonderful. Now, the next part is we have to create, modify the calendar so that the slot is not available, right? So the slot I want to make unavailable is the 7th of September at 1 a.m. So keeping in mind, again, this is the time zone issue I talked about. My calendar, as you can see, is currently in Australia, Sydney time. So, and I'm booking UTC time. So if I were to go to my Google calendar, and I think it was Saturday at 1 a.m. Saturday 1 a.m. Yep. And then we go back to make, and then when it's unavailable, we want to create a webhook response, and the slot availability is false. We save that. Save this time. I'm going to run once just in case. And then availability is false. And then this will be something like ask the user to pick another date and time and date, as this slot is unavailable. And then we test the pathway. How about Friday next week at 3 p.m. I believe that was booked. Wonderful. Now it says, apologize, but looks like Friday next week at 3 p.m. is not available. You can see our response is false. And then what we'll do after is once we get another time, we will loop back into the check. And then this is the user has given a date and time. And again, in the loop conditions, you must have been given a date and time. Right? So let's try this again. And what it will do is it will basically go in a loop to check if date's available. Apologies. One thing that I think I should also add is maybe suggest the date and time, put your office hours in there. Say something like, we are open 4 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, or something like that. We'll set your constraints in there, so you don't have to go through this loop many times. How about next Friday at 3 p.m. So he goes, perhaps we could explore other options, such as early in the week or at a different hour. So how about next Friday at 4 p.m.? Since that next Friday at 4 p.m. isn't available either, I think this is because my session goes into 2 a.m. So the 4 p.m. session isn't also available. So this is also another thing you guys will have to figure out with the calendars, because this is an exact hour and it will check at 2 a.m. whether that's available or not. How about next Friday at 5 p.m. So typically when you book, you will have to book on Google Calendar, that is 1 to 1:59. Oh, slot is unavailable. Seems like an error is in place, not what I just said. Let's have a look. So it does have the available. Let me just try again. How about next Friday at 5 p.m. Yeah, cool. It is available. So I think I just didn't run my make again. And so availability is set to true, and the booking time is 3 to 4 a.m. Wonderful. So now we have the booking time is confirmed, right? Now we move on to the last part. Now what you can do here is tell the user that the booking successfully completed, and you'll receive a reminder email, and you can just end the call here, turn this to an end call node, and basically, depending on how you want to navigate, and be like, hey, we will send out an SMS, we'll send out an email. You can add that section in here to send out the SMS or the email, whichever you feel like. Now, let me save this. So now moving along, the last part is going to be, we also haven't done a human call transfer, but that's pretty straightforward. The post-call processing and actually booking the appointment. This is not too difficult, but let's add the human transfer aspect of it. So obviously there's two ways to do things. Typically, when you can do the transfer to human operator at the key decision maker point, so that when you're talking to the key decision maker, at some point they're like, hey, I want to talk to a human operator, you can transfer them. Or you can have a global node that allows the user to transfer to the human operator at any point in the conversation. Typically, I think, or in my experience, I've had more success with transferring to a human operator during the key decision maker convincing sort of node. And that's typically where I have the transfer to human operator. Just because if they're trying to book, rarely do they need to be intervened by a human operator, because I usually have this tested thoroughly. But that's a matter of preference. So I just go transfer call, and you put in your number there, transferring you to a human, just put it as a static text. And then you can just go over here and then just basically the user wants to speak with a human operator. So that's that part, pretty straightforward. Lastly, the post-call processing and actually booking the appointment itself. Right, so we need to make another make. Now there's a few ways to go about doing this. And I will actually demonstrate that with a phone call in this particular case. So what will happen is you can either send a webhook here, or you can do it after the phone call. And I like to do it after the phone call because you reduce waiting times by interacting with webhooks. So if you imagine it this way, if I'm trying to make the booking while the phone call is happening, the delay is going to be from 2 seconds to, let's say, 4 to 5 seconds. It's going to be a bit of an uncanny wait, so I don't want to offer that custom experience to the user. So instead, I make the booking after the phone call straight away. And this, that's up to you. That's up to you how you want to do it, but that's how I want to do it. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a new integration in a new webhook. That is, I'm going to create a new webhook, and in this particular case, we have a webhook. Hopefully you don't get it wrong this time. Webhook. I'm going to add a post-call processing booking. Save that. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to send a call to myself, and then at the end of the phone call, you can see there is a webhook URL. That is the webhook that you would put from this link. And so at the end of the at the end of the phone call, it is going to send the information to the webhook. Now, the other thing is, typically when you send an outbound sales agent, you will need to use an API. And that is, not in here. Bland API, send call. Let's go documentation. Version 1, send a call. So in here, there is a webhook section. So it says very evidently, when the call ends, it will send the call details in a post request to URL specified here. So whatever you are using to send your phone call, whether that is using make to iterate through your batch calls, or you're using a Python code to send the phone call, you want to add the webhook, which is this make URL, into your Bland, because I am simulating a phone call with my test call. That's why I put it in here. I'm just going to refresh this because I don't know if that saves. And then I'm going to do the send call, use my number, and then wait for a greeting, and then I will put that in here. And then I'm going to send call to my mobile, and then I'm going to go through the conversation, and then I want to book for, let's say, next Friday at 5 p.m. and then we want to then add the code to save it. So I'm going to do that. Make the send call. Hello, Ming speaking.
Hi, Ming. My name is Vanessa, and I'm calling from BLAND.AI. How are you today? Can I please speak with your manager?
Yeah, I'm the manager.
Nice to meet you, Ming. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's great to hear. Just so you know, I'm an AI that can answer any questions you have about our services. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The reason I'm calling is to scope out any customer support issues you might have and see if we can help. We're a Microsoft Solutions partner that specializes in AI solutions for after-hours customer service, B2B data collection, or anything you can think of, really.
Oh, cool. That's pretty sweet.
Before calling, I noticed on your site that you operate 24/7. Several trades businesses like yours are already using AI to handle their customer service to get more leads and cheaper supplies. If you're keen to learn more, I can get you in touch with our team, or I can send you an email with more details. Would you be open to discussing this further in a meeting?
Yeah, sure.
So would you be available to discuss this further in a meeting? Could you suggest a day and time that works for you?
How about next Friday at 5 p.m.?
Please wait while I check our calendar. Ming, I've just confirmed our meeting for next Friday at 5 p.m. Your booking has been confirmed.
Cool. Obviously, I live in Australia, so the ping from the US BLAND is horrendous. Now, what we'll do is we're going to wait for this to come through, and obviously it just has. Now, we've just received all of the data of the phone call, so I'm going to OK it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add a calendar module. So let's say we want to do Google Calendar. We want to now create an event. So I'm going to add my calendar account once again. Create an event. Sure, calendar is my usual calendar. The event name is, I don't know, appointment. Start date is going to be, what is it? Appointment time. And end date is, let's do a 1 hour appointment. So copy this, appointment time, and then set it to 1 hour. We press OK. Oh, more value needs to be not empty. Duration, you can either enter, I can just enter the duration, 1. Cool. So once this webhook triggers, you would automatically create a booking. So let's actually test that. So let's run once, and obviously we want to create a booking somewhere here, right? So unfortunately, we're going to have to go through the slow. I might just speed this up, make the phone call again, and then be able to, hopefully this will appear after the phone call ends. Hello, Ming speaking.
Hello, is anyone there? I'm Vanessa from BLAND.AI. Can I please speak to the manager or owner of the company?
Yeah, I'm the owner.
Nice to meet you. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's great to hear. Just so you know, I'm an AI that can answer any questions you have about our services. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The reason I'm calling is to scope out any customer support issues you might have and see if we can help. We're a Microsoft Solutions partner that specializes in AI solutions for after-hours customer service, B2B data collection, or anything you can think of, really.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Before calling, I noticed on your site that you operate 24/7. Several trades businesses like yours are already using AI to handle their customer service to get more leads and cheaper supplies. If you're keen to learn more, I can get you in touch with our team, or I can send you an email with more details. Would you be open to discussing this further in a meeting?
Yeah, that'll be good.
So would you be available to discuss this further in a meeting? Could you suggest a day and time that works for you?
Can we do next Thursday at 4 p.m.
Please wait while I check our calendar. Your booking for next Thursday at 4 p.m. has been confirmed.
Obviously, the pathway needs some adjustment near the end, but hopefully we should wait for the webhook to come through, and it should be able to pop up in our calendar. So there it is, and that is basically how you can set an appointment with an outbound sales agent. I will also publish this. I'll do some tweaks, final adjustments and tweaks to it, but I'll also publish this for you guys to copy on the BLAND showcase. Please give it a star for some visibility, but you can also find me on Discord if you guys need help. Yeah, all the best. Good luck, guys.